Hey guys, welcome back to BachMakers, your favorite show that recaps all things Bachelor Nation. Before we continue with this episode, we're going to ask you very nicely, Michael, please deliver the news.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And share.
In that order, or reverse the order. It doesn't matter to us. Just do those things. Helps us. Enjoy this episode. We'll see you in the episode. Just keep watching. All right. Bye. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to BachMakers, presented by Good Time Media. I'm Wyatt. That's Michael. That's Lizzie in the middle. We are here to recap Jenn's 4th episode, week 4. Lot to get to. So much to unpack. Michael, initial thoughts.
Man, it was wild. I knew we were kind of due for an episode that ended on a little cliffhanger. Kind of glad we got it, to be honest. Kind of needed that little spice. But it was a good episode. 3 solid dates all around. A lot to talk about. A lot of quotes. A lot of cringes. A lot of cringe quotes, to be honest.
Arguably one cringe. One universal episode cringe. An incredible episode. Lizzie, no one lost any members.
Yes, I did.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. Totally forgot Sam left. Okay, Lizzie, how do we feel about losing a member?
Well, obviously it's devastating for the lovers to lose a member. Did I see it coming? Yeah.
Fair enough.
I did see it coming.
We'll have a lot to say about Sam and shortly. First things first, I want to bring back a segment we started with because I wanted to shout someone out. I want to do Jenn's Gent of the week. Oh, is that allowed? Can we do that?
Yeah, we can do it.
Okay, so I want to give a shout out to someone who probably wouldn't expect a shout out from us because I don't think they're our biggest fans right now. I want to give a shout out to Sam M's family because they are ride or die for their boy. And I can respect that. They are deep in the comments, deep in the Reddits. They are everywhere on the Facebooks, the LinkedIn, everywhere, just defending their boy Sam. Part of me has to respect that. Shout to specifically his sister, I believe Hannah is her name, who's been in our comments defending him. I don't think we're the ones you need to attack. There's the 10% of the psychopaths of this franchise who take everything seriously and will they probably deserve a little bit of like a, hey, wake up, like don't be a dickhead. But I can respect them defending their boy a little bit. So I have to tip my cap to them. They're my Jenn's Gen of the week because they have been deep in the woods defending their boy.
That's fair. My Jenn's Gen of the week. I'll actually give it to a real contestant. No hate on your pick.
Fair.
Shout out to the fam. But I'm gonna give it to my guy, Jonathan, pulling out the lax sticks, lax his life. You know what I'm saying? I thought he deserved that group date rose, but Marcus got some tears, so he got it.
Sorry about it.
Sorry about it. But yeah, no, Jonathan, another great week of, being himself. He's killing it. I think he's killing it.
I love Jonathan.
He might come for that co-captain role on my team, but Jeremy, number 1 pick, Bryce Young, still going strong.
Shout out Jeremy, friend of the program. We want to say nice things about Jeremy. He's not getting enough screen time. I do love Jeremy. We need to see more of him. Lizzie, who's your Jenn's Gent?
So my Jenn's Gent of the week is one that kind of went a little under the radar because one of the other men on my team decided to take all of the glory, and that's going to go ahead and be John M. for getting both of the, are they called flies instead of
I don't know.
touchdowns?
No, tries.
But he got both of the tries for the blue team, and they won. So
Grant got one.
Well, okay, it was an assist.
Yeah, he got the assist.
Yeah,
John did all the work. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's just kind of shocking that the NFL player, like you said, Michael, the NFL player dominating the rugby game, not shocking at all. Okay, we got to talk about Sam N. We're gonna be all over the place this episode because I just want to start with Sam N because I think a lot of the quotes, the cringes, everything stem from him. I would argue Sam N had the best one episode arc, one episode appearance, one episode behavior of any person I've ever seen on this show. I was I was close to tears how hard I was laughing at his sudden burst of confidence that came out of nowhere. The last 3 episodes, he was crying cuz he was lactose intolerant. He didn't want to strip in front of Jen, so then he confessed his love to her. He was just moping around about being a love virgin. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what the producer slipped into his drink because he was just an alpha male this entire episode, and it was incredible. How do you want to do the quotes from him? I have a full list of just Sam N quotes that I could go through. Do you want to just do a draft?
I mean, he was my quote of the week.
It's incredible.
I've got a few. I think I just want to start with what gave him that confidence.
Yeah.
Was the leather jacket. Let's be real. I mean, I don't think he brought that in his suitcase. I think the producer was like, hey, you know you don't have that good of a shot. I'm going to give you this leather jacket. It's got special powers. It was like Mike's secret stuff out there. Some Space Jam reference for there right there.
There you go.
It gave him some special powers to just think he is top dog. But I will give him the benefit of the doubt. He had a little tackling montage. That man was actually getting some tackles. He was putting in work. So maybe that gave him also a little bit more confidence.
Another tackle by Sam.
Wow,
That's
crazy.
Jen, he's really out to impress, don't you think?
It's a lot more competitive than I thought it was going to be. Sam's coming out here to try to prove something to Jen.
It was incredible. So speaking of the jacket, I don't know if you caught this. I don't think he knew it was a leather jacket. And in the exit interview, as he's driving off, he says, he's talking about like all the stuff he did for Jen. He said, I wore a denim jacket. I felt like G.I. Joe.
I did a lot of bold things. I wore a denim jacket, so I thought I was like, G.I. Joe in there. And
Can we unpack that for none of those references make sense? A, he was wearing a leather jacket. B, G.I. Joe doesn't wear a denim jacket.
But G.I. Joe wears like all black and like, right? Something.
That
He wasn't
also,
even wearing all black.
that reinforces the fact that he doesn't know what denim is.
Okay, yeah.
He said it was a
Denim
denim
and leather are like, I could get why someone gets those confused. I could get
Joel,
it.
back him up here, Mike.
I'm not going to back him up. I'm just saying I can see his point of view, the whole denim versus leather, because,
Yeah.
it's kind of like dyslexia, but with clothing.
Well, he was
material.
the funny part of it is the context. He was like, I did all these things for Jen. I wore a jacket. Like, look what I did for you. I wore this jacket. I felt like G.I. Joe, and then it
Hey, girl, I
backfired.
went above and beyond for you. I wore a leather
Yeah.
jacket when no one else did.
I'll
Everybody else
pull
can
one.
pull it off like me.
He complimented in the middle of yelling at Thomas. He just complimented.
That was. I had that one.
Composure. Thomas, yellow's a good color on you too. Composure, bro. Composure.
All right, this is my last one. Then I have a few more, but yeah, he said he's yelling at Thomas. He's like, "Grow up, whatever. Yellow's a good color on you, by the way."
That's like the
nowhere.
opposite of a compliment sandwich. You know how like you're supposed to do,
Yeah, if you have to-
compliment,
yeah.
subtle burn, compliment. He was just like fighting with him. Hey, yellow looks nice on you. Fuck you.
So good. Which other? I'll leave the floor open if you have some other quotes you want to bring up, because I got a few more. he was cooking.
He said boss ass bitch energy like 3 times. And I was like, ABC's letting everything slide this season. And he was just like, I was kind of just like pop off queen at some point. I was like, he's kind of giving queen right now.
I have this bad bitch energy right now. I'm the most confident guy in this field.
I'm on that boss bitch energy, hot energy only.
I was gonna say that was my quote, was when he said, "I'm on that boss bitch energy, that hot energy only."
Hot energy only was the one that stuck out to me. Kind of love that. Again, Sam N, they could never make me hate you. I will remember this performance for the rest of my life. This one episode by him, just the fact that it came out of nowhere. If he had been kind of like a dickhead the other 3 episodes, this would make sense. This just, it came out of nowhere. It's like someone put on a superhero costume and just became a different persona.
Who was it last season? Was it Jess? Where like they were all out by the pool. It was
And
like
did
Jess
what?
and Leia.
And did what?
And Jess and like Medina and like Jess just randomly like had her burst of like, hey, like I don't give a shit.
Nah, I don't even remember.
Do you remember?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Wasn't to this extent.
It, like,
this was the switch up we've never seen.
It kind of felt like it.
He was sad and mopey, and then all of a sudden he was like, fuck everyone else, this is my show. It just came out of nowhere.
Love virgin turned boss ass
Riz God
queen energy.
So the other one I want to bring out from him, the other quote, is just a really funny phrase to me. He was talking about how he was being intentional with Jen this group date, and he told Jen that this was the best group date of his life.
The group date, 3rd time's a charm. It was the best group date of my life.
Oh, good.
And
Which is just hilarious if you take outside the context of the show. How many group dates are you going on? You shouldn't be going on a lot of group dates. But he's like, yeah, this was the best group date I've ever had. It's like, yeah, I would hope so. I would really hope so. He did claim, he said, I've already got the group date rose in the bag. Survey says, no, you didn't. And yeah, that was the Sam N portion of the show. Then the kiss that wasn't meant to be. Unfortunate. We all knew it was coming. He kept talking about the kiss, and you could just see everyone. The writing was on the wall. We all knew it was going to end poorly, and it was executed. Some would say perfectly, some would say terribly. I don't know where I stand. I loved every second of Sam this episode. It was incredible.
I think it's just right there up for in contention for the cringe of the season right there.
Mm-hmm.
So can I kiss you? Yeah, about that. Pretty much.
I love how they stayed on his face during that, because you could see the life leave his body.
Yeah.
There was a moment where all of a sudden it clicked that this whole persona he was pulling off this episode didn't work.
So Jen, can I kiss you?
And he just knew it was over, and it made me sad. I'm gonna miss him. I really am. I'm gonna miss Sam N. What a performance.
Yeah.
All right. Any other quotes that aren't Sam N related we want to get to? I think I have a couple. I only have 2.
Yeah, I have 2.
You got it.
So one was just like super quick. So they were training they were on the rugby pitch or field or whatever, and they did the whole ceremonial haka, hoka,
which was really cool. By the way, they did a great job. We need to shout them out because I don't think we'll get there. But like, great representation of culture there. It wasn't just like a clickbaity make fun of something. It was so well executed.
The whole episode, yeah. But then there's just like a little like cutaway to Spencer, and he just goes, "It looks like we're gonna be playing rugby today," and I started dying laughing. I was like, "What?" That was just the perfect cut. The perfect. Looks like we're playing rugby today, and then cut again. I was like,
"Oh my god!"
Perfect. Bring it on.
It looks like we're playing some rugby today.
Yeah, Jen. I love that moment. Jen was talking about it's like, yeah, rugby is very part of this culture. They're just talking about rugby for 10 minutes, and then Spencer, it looks like we're playing rugby.
It's like we're playing rugby today.
All right,
it always makes me laugh when it always makes me laugh when his little thing shows up, like his name card, and it just says pet portrait on entrepreneur. Like when he says like that kind of stuff, and I'm just like, you're a sweet guy, but like it just does not match.
I feel like it does match.
It definitely
I feel like it does. He gives golden retriever energy, you know.
Yeah.
Golden retrievers.
A few other quotes I had is similar to along the same lines. Is the very opening of the episode. Sam M, who again we'll have a lot to talk about. He said, "Oh, we're in New Zealand. He's like, best case scenario, Jen shows up.
Best case scenario, Jen makes an appearance somehow, some way.
I'm like, what? What do you mean? Of course she's gonna show up. You're on again, Sam. You're on the Bachelorette. I know in his brain he definitely thinks he's the lead, which we can talk about on his one-on-one date. But he was like, best case scenario, Jen shows up. I was like, well, I would hope so. I would hope she shows up. He also said, again, this is just classic Sam. To when he's talking to Devin, he said, "Your name doesn't come out of my mouth." Check the tape. Let's roll the tape. In every other sentence he says involves Devin. So that would be proved to be a lie, definitely. And then the only other quote I had is a little 14-year-old boy moment when Jen and Jonathan are playing catch with lacrosse, and Jen said, "I'm not used to a man's stick."
Yeah, so it's easier to catch.
That's messed up. I'm not used to a men's stick.
Yeah, neither of them laughed at that. I was like, how?
I bet.
I think Jen said that to get a laugh.
I think so too. Jen's humor, I think she was. I think that was planned. That was a planned little bit by Jen, and didn't get the laugh. Jen, we see you.
Jonathan maybe didn't want to laugh to like be like, oh, if I laugh, she'll think I'm immature or something, you know. But like, you can't not hear that. You can't like, not.
It jumped out the screen when I heard that.
And then I also had a quote on this one-on-one date with Sam M. I think this is not the first time I've heard this, but it was like, cheers, cheers. And then he said, thank you.
New memories. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you. New memories. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
He like thanked you for the cheers. They're like, cheers, cheers. And he was like, thank you. And then drank. And I was like,
wait, did he really?
I swear, I heard because it was like cheers, cheers. And then I heard thank you, and I was like, is that normally how cheers work? Then I was trying to think like, when I cheers, do I cheers? Thank you.
It was just the two of them cheersing.
Yeah, I swear to God, it was just the two of them. They were cheersing on their little champagne on the little with a gorgeous backdrop of the looked like they were in Toronto or whatever with the little needle building or whatever. And then they said thank you, and I was like, that's not how it works. That's not how cheers works, Sam. He did seem a little nervous on that. He seemed a little nervous.
He did. He was well because he actually had to like pretend to care, and he couldn't make out with her the whole time.
And he wasn't clearly hammered like the last two episodes.
Oh, be careful, Mike. Be careful. They're gonna come for you. All right, Lizzie, you have any quotes or cringes before we hop into the episode recap?
Not for real.
All right, thank you. Let us know if you have anything. All right, so to start off the episode recap, I want to mention the brief moment of Bachelor lore that Jesse dropped on us. The fact that the reason they don't eat on the one-on-one dates is because of Jesse. So apparently, Jesse, I don't know if you caught this, Michael. You're looking at me like you didn't see this part of the episode.
Was this like the very start?
Very beginning.
Well, I didn't watch the first 10 minutes because
there you go. So
YouTube TV 10 minutes in.
Allow me to bless you with this information. So Jesse brought up and mentioned to Jen the reason they don't eat now, they don't show it on the screen. They eat beforehand and then they talk, is because apparently Jesse was just like they had a montage of Jesse just chewing with his mouth open, yapping the whole time, like during the date. So after that, they stopped airing the actual like eating portion of the dates, which was just a crazy thing to drop, like some Bachelor lore, which is cool because they understand their audience a little bit. They're not pretending like this is some like, I don't know. It felt nice to have put a window up and say, hey, like there's a little bit of production going on here. They're not shying away from that. They said, hey, this is actually, there's a reason behind this, which I enjoyed. I'm glad they mentioned that.
That's cool. I mean, it would kind of be cool every now and then to like see some funny bits of like them, eating weird or something. I don't know. That'd be kind of funny. Or like
have some like cool
getting
meals.
some mayonnaise on their face or something. Like I don't know. That's cool. Yeah, or some cool meals that are native to Auckland.
Jesse's definitely taken on a very dad role over Jen, which is kind of cool to see. This is the first time I feel like he's embraced that role. Like he feels almost protective of Jen, which is really cool to see. So shout out Jesse. I my prediction before the season was that he'll kind of fade away this season. He's leaving his mark, which I can appreciate. All right, Sam M gets the one-on-one, and we mentioned this as we were talking during the episode. If someone were to walk in and just watch this date and not know anything about the context of the season, they would assume that Sam M is the Bachelor and Jen is on his season. The way he carried himself, he thought he was in full control and this was his show, and he wanted to control every moment of it. And I hated it. I hated every second of it.
I don't think it's that bad. At some point, you gotta like. At the end of the day, the Bachelorette, you're trying to impress the woman, and like you gotta show that you're a good listener, And so I think asking questions about her and having her open up is fair. And I know she's the lead, and you're supposed to open up to her, but I kind of like it. I think this episode we learned more about Jen than we did all of last season on Joey's season.
Mm-hmm.
So like at some point, like that's good for the overall context of the whole season.
But what about the whole, hey, I'm gonna make you jump off this building?
So one, I didn't really get how like she just jumped out of a plane like a week prior to this.
Great point.
But like she's so against jumping off a building, and like
it's a great point.
One, she's got to know it was coming. She's got to know it was coming. She knew it was coming. She knew it was coming. And at some point, like the guy's supposed to be like, yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Like she made Marcus do it off a plane, And so he was kind of taking initiative. So I'm playing devil's advocate here on Sam M's side for the time being.
I think you're roping me back in. I think I agree.
I'm not team Sam M for sure. But I'm saying, like, I get where he's coming from of like, oh, you've got to show your like your adventurous side. Like you only get so much limited time. You kind of gotta show, that you're like, yeah, let's jump off this. I'm so adventurous and cool. I'll protect you, girl.
I won't let you fall.
And then he's just like standing when they're like getting ready. He's just standing there like, come on, I'm about to jump off by myself, girl. Come on, you better jump off quick. He was just like so ready. She was like standing back there like sweating, and then instead of like consoling her and stuff, he was like, come on.
Yeah, he was like, I'll do whatever you want me to do, saying that to the instructor. He was like, whatever you ask me to do, I'm down. I think sometimes I think Sam forgets he's on the Bachelorette. He thought there was like fear factor and like he gets more points by doing it. Like, no, Sam, you're there to like fall in love. But no, I think you're right. I think I was too quick. I went into that date with the lens of already not liking this man, so I was nitpicky. It's a good point. Like if Devin did something, I think there's a way to playfully say like, hey, come on, let's do it. I think his tone comes across as very like too cool for school, and like it becomes more like authoritative the way he says it rather than like playful. Like, hey, let's do this. Let's face our fears a little bit. So I see where you're coming from there. It was that at that moment I realized from Jen's perspective, she went from dating Joey to Sam M, and it's so different. Those two could not be more different. And the way like their interactions, the connection, the chemistry is so different between what she had with Joey and the type of guy Joey is versus who Sam M is. And that's not anti-Sam M. And I do want to not shout out Sam M, but have some empathy here because he did open up about being cheated on. If true, that's fucked up. We don't like that. So that's a shitty thing to have to go through. And Sam, I hope you're doing okay. I want to say that.
And I don't think Joey was the last guy she saw, because it sounds like it was just a few months ago from when they were filming that exact in New Zealand that guy we'll talk about later. They were kind of sound like they got back together in between filming Joey's season and her Bachelorette. Sounded like there was some crossover.
It's a lot to talk about. Timelines get messy. It's the MCU out here. Yeah, Sam M's date. I think this was a date that was intended for us to pile on him. It was set up like that, and people did. The internet did. So I don't know where I stand with him. I'm still very anti Sam M, but I think this was the first time Jen saw it too. Jen saw what we were seeing. I think you could see it a little bit of. This is the first time she had hesitation with Sam M.
But she did say that she was like falling for him at the end of that dinner date. She did say that, and that was the first person she said that about. So
Also true.
that's kind of crazy. I don't know. I think there's still a lot of people on the Sam M train. Like I was watching with my roommate and his girlfriend, and she is still on the Sam M train. So
how?
Maybe I don't know. Maybe girls got a different perspective than guys, which is
no
weird.
way.
But yeah, I think there's still some people on the Sam M train. So
that'll be interesting.
How long that train is aboard is on the rails.
Yeah, see how long that train stays on the rails. That would be a good reference.
Yeah.
Want to try that again?
Yeah, let's see how long that train stays on the rails, like a Boilermaker. Choo choo.
All right, too far. All right, let's move on to the Rugby Royale. So, Mike, this is the closest thing.
Bachelor Bowl.
So our Bachelor Bowl. So I'll let you kind of judge this date. What'd you think? Bachelor Bowl levels of competitiveness. What are we feeling?
Well, it's not the Bachelor Bowl because Bachelor Bowl is the girls, and it's fun watching the girls play football. But guys playing rugby, I like it. Them playing rugby, not football, because they know football. None of them know rugby except for Marcus. They did, I guess, a bit, and then John clearly has some skills given he played football. But yeah, no, I liked it. It was a good change of pace. It was fun. So when they were showing them doing the drills, they were like returning punts or kicks, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got to be, I guess, a lot harder than returning like a punt for a football. But some of those guys can't even. They weren't catching shit.
Yeah.
They were getting exposed. They kept all of the misses in too, and some of them were bad. I was like, gosh, like Dylan struggled. You got to tell your boy, you got to keep him accountable. That man was like, I got it. 5 feet over there. 5 feet over there.
He's a defensive player. Okay, he's not on that side of the ball. He's a ball hawk. He can get to the ball. He ain't catching it. All right. So he's more of like a middle linebacker. He'll take your head off if you come down the middle, but he's not picking the ball off and going, taking it all the way. Marcus did well though until he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So my guys, they showed up. Okay, the wise men we're a lonely bunch here. It's just 2 of us. I believe in them still. Dylan, not a great episode for him. The only time he got to shine was him dropping a football. Not great. Marcus, again, came in clutch, got that rose, so can't complain too much there. Rugby, I was very clouded and was only focused on Sam N this entire date, and that was kind of the whole point of the date, I think. Sam N, at first, when he was just, again, it looked like he would get this shot of energy out of nowhere. He'd be talking normally, and he's like, it's on, out of nowhere. Like, dude, where is that coming from? And it only ramped up as the night went on. At first, it did make me smile a little bit, seeing him smile because of how mopey he'd been the last 3 weeks. And then it went too far, and it became this overconfident alpha male. But yeah, Sam N, I do respect his confidence by saying none of these men scare me. As one of the skinnier people there, as a skinny guy myself, I think that was coping mechanism. He's definitely probably a little scared. There's some beefy boys there.
Yeah, but I was when they kept kind of foreshadowing that he was going to get just like ran over on the pitch or field. Still don't know. But he didn't. I mean, at least if he did, they didn't show it. But I was expecting like him, just running and then out of nowhere, just like who's on the other team, like Dylan, coming out of nowhere and just blindsiding him, and that'd be TV gold too. But hey, I mean, he got some tackles. Um, Obviously, John M kind of looked like prime Dion out there, to be honest. So
The other shout out from this group date that Michael, you noticed, Grant got a new haircut somehow in the middle
yeah,
in the middle of New
yeah,
Zealand.
yeah. He like it shaved into a mohawk, right? Or is it mohawk or faux hawk?
I don't
Like
know,
it
but it's
used to be
different.
just like buzzed, but like a little fade. But now it's more like it's it's thicker here than it is on the sides, so it's different. I noticed it, and like I asked Shanae, like I was girlfriend, I was like, that's
It's
different, right? And she
different.
was like, I noticed that too. And I'm like, all right, I'm not seeing things
Yeah,
because he looks a little different slash like older, maybe.
I like it.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it looks good.
Bold move to just. I guess they probably had a lot of downtime because it's a lot of travel,
Yeah, a
and
lot of
so I'm sure he's like, you know what, screw it, I'll go get a haircut.
yeah,
And then
but
yes, so then we've talked as much about Sam N as we possibly can, and probably should at this point. Sam N, what are our odds of seeing him again, either this season or Paradise? Because I'm leaving the door open. We've seen. I feel like there were clips of him yelling at people that we didn't see. There's a chance he's not gone yet.
well, the clip of the whole in the teaser we saw like you're a boy, you don't know what love is. Has that happened yet?
I don't think so.
Yeah, like I don't remember it happening, but I also do kind of like Spencer did kind of go on some rants earlier in prior episodes. I'm like, maybe that did get.
Cut, but they wouldn't put it in the teaser if they're not going to show it. You
I
would
don't know.
think. So I'm leaving that door open. I hope he doesn't. Okay, here's the thing. Sam N's performance today, again, Hall of Fame performance in my book. I will never forget it. Hanging in the rafters. It will be tainted if he comes back. If he comes back and tries to do more, it'll hurt the legacy. It's like seeing Jordan on the Wizards. It has a little knock at that legacy. I don't want that to happen. Let it die. Stay home. Stay down, boy. Sam N, you did your work. You may rest now. Please don't come back.
Yeah, I don't. I think he has a better chance to come back than he does to be on Paradise. To be
Yeah.
honest,
But he's
just
young.
because like I know he's young, but like he's so love bomb that like to be on Paradise would be kind of like whoa. But at the same time, some of the girls on Joey's season were kind of love bomb, so maybe it could work. If he goes on Paradise and finds his wife, they would definitely get married on the beach. Not even engaged. They get married. They'd probably have kids on the beach in summer.
I want to see Sam N on Paradise just because I know he would go for the girl that is so far out of his league. He would
The Kylie.
Dude, imagine you get
Kylie.
imagine like Daisy. Hopefully Daisy and Thor are happy, but imagine like Daisy is single and goes to the beach. Sam N would 100% fall in love with Daisy in 10 seconds, and it would be so funny to see. Or like Maria,
Yeah.
like Maria's on the beach. Sam N would fall in love with someone who's way out of his league, and it wouldn't work out and be really funny to watch.
100%. That would be great television. To be honest.
So good. Should we do a brief intermission and talk Golden Bachelorette before we wrap up the second half of this episode? Did you see that promo?
No.
Oh, there's a new promo out with Joan, and it was just kind of her talking with her family around the kitchen, very Golden Bachelorette vibes. And Joan still got it. Looks great.
Yeah.
Looks fantastic. Words can't comprehend how excited I am for that season. Shall I say this season has exceeded expectations already 4 weeks in for Jen. People want it, not rightfully so because they were objectively mean, but people had their hesitations about this season. It has delivered. 100% has delivered 4 weeks in. No one who's watched all 4 episodes can say it hasn't. I'm almost as excited, probably more excited for Joan's season because I think that's going to be incredible.
Yeah, I'm just excited for the dynamic of dude drama at 60 years old. Or I don't even know what the age range is going to be. There's going to be some old people. We know there's gonna be some oldies. I'm excited for the dad. We're not even gonna get dad jokes. We're gonna get grandpa jokes. It's gonna be a whole next level of dad joke.
Oh,
So it's gonna be It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I love Bachelorette seasons with a bunch with a bunch of dudes. So I'm gonna love even more dudes with more age and less testosterone.
yep. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Every time we talk about this season, we just get excited about the dudes hanging out, the grandpas hanging out.
Yeah,
It's gonna be incredible.
I
All right.
hope they like know each other. Like some people are like, oh yeah, back in the 80s, we was partying together.
We fought in the war together.
I mean that like
It's
that
not
could
a
like
very
what?
easily could have happened.
Yeah, 100%.
That's crazy. All right. Back half of the episode, we get Devin's date, which we touched on a little bit. I think that this is the first time in a while we've seen the Bachelor franchise do a good job of representation, different cultures. They did a good job with Rachel, but that was easier because it's like her family. This is You're in a new place, and let's experience this culture in a respectful way, and they nailed it. Again, I probably came into this date with Devin seeing him in a good light. So everything he said and did was amplified. So I thought he crushed it, which I think he did objectively, had a great date. And it's very much the Maria effect where when Maria was with only the girls, everything was chaotic and she seemed to be a part of all this drama. Stuff was going haywire. And then when Maria was with Joey, the connection was perfect. It was very palpable. You could see that work well, and you loved Maria a little bit more. Devin, same way. When he's with the guys, he's a little more combative. The tensions are higher. And then as soon as he's with Jen, you see this side of him that is really enjoyable. And that's not to say they're two different people. It's the same person. I just think in the environment of being in the house, it doesn't fit. But when they're with the one person one-on-one, it works. So I'm now seeing officially, I've come full circle. I see the Maria comparisons. I do.
That's great, but I actually see it less now.
Oh.
I see it less now. Maria and Joey, they had that connection, but I think Devin and Jen's connection is a little bit different. A little bit different than like Maria and Joey. It's less like, Maria and Joey had, the date, the princess date with the back in the car,
Yeah.
the banner back and forth.
I'll never forget the back of that limo.
Yeah, no, that back in the limo. I felt like I was there. Yeah. I felt like I was the limo driver, to be honest. But with Devin and Jen, they kind of seem like a little bit more deeper. Maybe that was just the context of the date, and because this date was a little more serious than like a princess date in a sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It seems a little bit different. She described him. She described the relationship as like unique. She used the word unique, and I'm like, that's a good word for it. That's a compliment if you're Devin. So he's making the right moves, and he did say he's falling for her.
He did.
Which she said, which she lied. She lied. She said nobody has said that to me yet. And you are wrong because Sam N did last episode. A little bit different scenario, but you cannot say that nobody said it to you when Sam N said it to you.
Let the dead man die, Michael. Let him die in peace.
She said that, and I'm like, no, Sam N told you. You can't forget about my boy.
That's such a good point. Sam N literally confessed his love to her last week. And she's like, you know what? No one's ever said that to me.
Yep.
That's the meanest thing that's been said about Sam N yet, and he wasn't even there. He's so irrelevant in Jen's mind that she didn't even compute him confessing his love to her. She didn't even process that as a real thing that happened. Oh, Sam N, what a hero! They could never make me hate you, Sam N. I love you, man. Oh yeah, so Devin's date. One thing I noticed is that Devin referred to that as his first date with Jen, something that Sam M did not do. Sam M was like, I don't really consider this our first date. What do you mean, dude? Of course it's your first date. And then Devin said, I don't usually fall for someone on the first date, but here we are. Just a little rhetoric comparison there. I do appreciate Devin calling that the first date because it's their first date.
Yeah.
And I think Jen
And
appreciated that.
I appreciated Devin. Like he was visibly nervous, like before, like going up to Jen and stuff, which was cool. Like I like seeing him nervous because
Mhm.
like during the group date settings, he's very like comfortable and like loud, obviously. But like the one-on-one, he's kind of like, ooh, gotta perform. Ooh. There's no guys to make fun of. Ooh.
It's probably so easy for him when he has Sam, M, and Thomas there because it's just he's undefeated against those two. He owns those two. It's unbelievable. All right, and then now the big teaser, the big hoopla from this episode. If you take Sam N's performance out of it, Jen's ex shows up. What's his name again? Matt?
Matty fucking smokes.
Matty fucking smokes, dude. Matty
yeah.
I'll call him Matty Smokes. I'm in.
Yeah.
Matty Smokes shows up. And initial thoughts. Well, first of all, let's talk about how they introduced this. Because this segment was something different than they've ever done on this show. First of all, I jumped out of my seat when Jesse looked directly at the camera. It was unnerving. It almost looked like he grabbed the camera. He goes, "So here's what's happening. This guy has flown across the world to be here with Jen. She's out there. She doesn't know this is happening. The boys, they're back at the mansion. And here's the breakdown." I was like, whoa, Jesse.
He was like an on-site reporter.
Yeah.
Just actually going like,
live at the scene.
This just in. Yeah, like actually saying that. And then they had the quad box going. Electric. They were like, boom, I'm here. Jesse reporting to you live. Boom. Jen is with the producers on the pier thinking it's a normal day. Oh, wait, this random dude is driving in from the airport, which he flew out on his own dime. Maybe.
No way. No way this man paid for those flights.
And just happened to be recording his Uber ride here.
That is not a chance.
And then look at this picture of Grant staring out to the distance, getting ready for the cocktail hour, and he was just.
It was so okay.
Red zone, but
okay.
Bachelor.
I'm glad you said NFL Red Zone because when I think quad box, it's NFL Red Zone. That's it. I saw some people tweeting quad box. Is that a Love Island thing? Do they quad box? Have they?
I mean, I'm personally Love Island UK. So maybe that's a Love Island USA thing, but I don't think there's there's quad boxes.
Okay, I could be making that up because I saw people tweeting about the quad box, and I was concerned that they weren't referring to NFL Red Zone.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I think the majority of people watching The Bachelorette
won't
probably
get
must watch Red Zone. To be honest,
you're right. This might just be us, but I was very excited about the quad box.
That's probably a moment where boyfriends that are watching with their girlfriend that aren't really that into it, see like Jesse Palmer, who they already recognize from like college football game days and stuff. They see him come on, they're like, oh man, this is kind of exciting. And then the music comes on, and then another box shows up. They're like, okay, I'm getting kind of stimulated. And then the quad box shows up. They're like, all right, what is the show? I'm in.
If you girlfriends out there watching, if your boyfriend refuses to watch The Bachelorette with you, says I'm not watching that show, it's not for me, it's for chicks, skip ahead to that segment. Show him the quad box. Just let him see the quad box. It'll be like a dog when you say treat. He'll perk up. He'll start barking a little bit. It's our human nature. We see the quad box, we get excited. If you want your boyfriend to watch The Bachelorette with you, show them the quad box. It'll work. Now, the ex, Matty Smokes, shows up. First thoughts on him before we get to him even interacting with Jen. Shorter than I thought he would be.
Correct.
He was a short king but anyone's a short king next to Jesse Palmer. But he just the first shot of him walking in was a little funny.
So funny.
I don't know why. I don't know why it was just funny.
He's like,
oh,
first day at school, first day at camp.
That's a great way to put it.
And he came in with a backpack on and 2 giant suitcases. I was like,
how long you staying, boy?
Let's not get ahead of yourself, buddy. What are you doing here? But he did say he just came right from a wedding or whatever.
That he skipped. allegedly.
Yeah, or like he was in Colombia at a wedding that maybe he was gonna go to with Jen. I don't know. That was
Yeah. So
context. We did not get any of that.
he walks up, and I had to watch this whole section through your phone because shout out to Michael for FaceTiming us because we had tornado warning, so I couldn't watch on my TV. Thank you, Michael. And Jen, her reaction, not quite what we anticipated. She was,
She's
I would
happy.
say, very happy to see him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shocked, definitely, but not mad that he was there.
Yeah, I think he's gonna get friend zoned. It kind of seemed like a friend vibe, like a maybe they've had a history, but not like that serious of a history. Seems like maybe he's like really into her, and she's not that into him. Kind of getting that vibe.
That was some of the most comfortable we've seen Jen this whole
Yeah.
season, which makes sense because it's someone you've known for a while. So like you immediately are, it almost you forget you're on this
Yeah.
produced television show, and so she was
Mhm.
obviously very comfortable. But it was kind of refreshing to see Jen in just be Jen. Like she was
Mhm.
making fun of him, like he said he loved her, and she immediately was like,
He's like,
"What?"
Matthew.
He's like, "Maddie smokes. You can't say that. We're on a TV show. You got to wait till at least week 6." Yeah, it was interesting to see her be pretty excited there. So I don't know what else. So he said he skipped those weddings to be there. Allegedly, they had dated for what 3 to 4 months. He said 3 to 4 years ago. That's
Oh,
a little tough.
yeah. I did like how Jesse emphasized that this is not the toxic ex.
That was huge.
Because if they didn't do that, I think people would have assumed that 100%. So it's nice to know this guy at least wasn't the asshole guy. So I think if that gets, relayed to the guys when that meeting eventually will happen next week, that'll maybe have them cool down. But Sam M is still gonna go in on him. I can't wait. He's gonna be like, dude, what the fuck? No, dude, she's my girl.
You know what he's gonna do? He'll sit back, he'll watch him walk in, and go.
Be hammered.
And he'll say, "Thomas, get him, boy." He'll send his dog at him first. He'll go, "Hey, Thomas, go get him. Get, boy."
Thomas, go put on your little yellow shirt. Go get him.
And Thomas will do it. Thomas will start barking at him.
And Thomas will go like, have you noticed that?
Does.
He's always like tilted down looking at the camera.
Those two. I want a buddy cop film of Sam and Thomas because they're best friends. They should leave the show together. All right, predictions with this X. I feel very confident that he doesn't pass. He doesn't get it past next episode. I don't think he makes it another night. I think it's a very quick because the only footage we see of him is talking to Jen and in the suit that night.
Yeah.
We don't see anything else.
I think he gets sent home before the rose ceremony.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
Yep.
Right. He's gonna be that guy in the car that leaves that they kind of showed. But maybe they're trying to throw us off and there's somebody else. And that's why I was scared of my boy Austin, because in that little clip, he was the one that was voicing like that's so disrespectful for the guys. And I'm like, oh, you can't be the guy that says it. You can't be the guy that says it. No.
Not you.
No, not my boy.
It can't be.
So I'm scared for Austin. For sure.
Yeah, I just don't see a world where Maddie Smokes gets a rose.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're one of the guys that has a good connection, like that'd be a bad look. It'd be a bad look. I don't know. I think even the fans of Jen that are just watching the show would be like,
yeah,
why'd you do that? So I don't know. I don't think it's gonna happen. If it does, could make for some good drama next week and the week after. But I think he's going by.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
I agree. All right, let's wrap up here. Any final thoughts on this episode? We'll get a rose ceremony next episode. So who outside of Maddie Smokes is on the hot seat?
Probably my boy Austin. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to say Austin, then I'll go probably Thomas. He's got to be done soon.
It's
right?
gotta be.
It's got to be.
I would say, yeah.
I've got 4 on the hot seat though. I could go 2 more, but if you know,
I would say unfortunately,
Yeah.
the next hottest seat might be Jeremy.
I was gonna say Dylan B.
Oh, you're right. Maybe I'm being precious on
I was
my
gonna
own
say
team.
Dylan B and John.
Oh, I forgot about John. John might be there too. I'll put John slightly on a hotter seat than Jeremy. I just don't think we're getting enough of Jeremy
Yeah, that's true.
unless we get a date here soon.
I thought he had a good episode last week. Maybe not this week, but
He did. He had a good episode last week. This week he was just very non-existent. John at least was the star of the rugby team, which we saw a little more of John's personality, which was a little more fun. He's not as quiet as I thought he was. He was a little more vocal. I don't know, but yeah,
he's Dotton.
he's Dotton. That's a good idea. That's a good comparison.
Yeah.
I
So
like
he
that.
would have been final 2 at least charity season.
Yeah,
Him and
right.
Dotton.
Yeah, it's him and Dotton.
Then you flip a coin.
Yeah. Yeah, but I agree. Thomas and Austin probably on the hottest of seats, along with Matty Smokes. And yeah, this season's heating up. I really don't have a strong feeling for where this is going to go, which is good. I don't want that feeling in week 4. I really don't know who the front runners are. I think there's 5 at this point.
Yeah. I think there's a solid like 5, and then the rest I'm just like, they could leave. Any of them could be gone next week, and I'd be like, oh, okay.
Think about it. So I think the strongest argument for like a winning case right now is Marcus.
Yeah. I know. I think Marcus is definitely in the strong state.
And then so like if we had a tier 1, I think tier 1 is Marcus, Devin, Grant, and then you have to put Sam M in there. Yeah.
Got it. I don't think Grant's in that tier.
I think tier 1B would be Jonathan and Grant.
Yeah.
They're knocking on the door of like they could be it. And then everyone else is in that 3rd tier.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of separation.
Go home next week and it's like, oh, I see.
It's a lot of parity. A lot of parity in this league. Love to see it.
I think we're officially at the time where if you're under the age of 28 and you go out now, you got a paradise ticket.
Yep. We're at paradise.
We're officially at that level where like Austin, when you go, book your flight.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas, 31. I could see him show up at paradise. Because
you know who's going to crush? Sorry.
Sam M is going to crush paradise.
Oh, no. Who's actually going to crush paradise from like a lady standpoint? Jonathan.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
That man will crush figuratively and literally on paradise.
Unless he's low-key in the Bachelorette.
Oh, all right. Bachelor power rankings go. If let's say Jen doesn't pick any of them. Marcus 1.
Marcus 1. Even though he's 31, he's still got a young personality, young vibe, and he's a great dude. And I think girls would be at the doorstep for him.
100%. I think fans are gonna want by the end of the season. I think fans are gonna want Devin just like we wanted Maria. I don't see it. I don't think Devin could get there to be that Bachelor, but maybe.
Yeah. And I think some people that were anti-Devin are still going to be on anti-Devin.
Yes.
So
I think Jonathan might be 2 on that list.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I think Jonathan. I think Grant for sure could be a Bachelor.
We just don't know much about him.
I know. Point. That's why we're hoping that he'll get a little bit more. But I think Grant could. He seems like he's got the height. He's got the
look. He's got the look.
Yeah, he's got. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that wraps up for week 4. What an episode. Shout out to Sam M's family. Shout out to Sam N for his performance. Shout out to all you guys for watching. If you're watching this far, make sure to like the video. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, all that stuff. Comment comment who's on your hot seat. Who's on the hottest seat for you, and why is it Thomas? All right. We'll see you all next week. Thanks for watching. Peace.